Hello, my name is Rodney Berry. I'm going to again speak here on the now end of aging and premature death by the means of mankind's science, the word creation called science. I have people that are telling me they have a hard time believing that ancient history has affected anything in science when they must understand that we had to come through the development of chemistry through making swords, through making uh, tools to farm in the ancient days, that we had to learn how to forge metals to bring forth what we have this day called science. We had to start slow. How could we have come into microscopes, telescopes, airplanes, cars, just Adam or whoever walking up and suddenly say, I'm going to build me a plane? First we had to learn how to forge metals. First we had to learn about chemicals. First we had to become scientists. They were the scientists of that day. Any man that suddenly received a hypothesis to his soul, thinking of what can I do to farm here, what can I do to protect my family, suddenly says, I just had a hypothesis and I think I'm going to make it a theory and I'm going to turn it into a law. A hypothesis that he needed metals, so he began to search for metal through digging it up out of the ground, through finding it in stones laying around. But there are those also that think it is not possible that the religions of the past, the Muslim religions, the Hindu and the Hebrew religion, the history of the Hebrew religion, the history of the Muslim religion, the history of the Chinese religions, how could these affected science? Well, we look in history and we see that the priests of the Catholic religion brought forth great inventions and experiments that proved different things, such as Brown. He was imprisoned, a Catholic priest. He was imprisoned and he came up with the science of optics. The Muslim cleric, excuse me, I just now thought of that and I shouldn't have spoken because I can't recall his name right now, but the Muslim cleric that developed the science of eye, studying the eye. He broke down the eye completely while imprisoned also. This is an amazing thing. Now, you see in the history of science, the religions of the world, and the history of the Greeks, the great philosophers, you see them speaking of what we are just now this day proving in science. Just now this day proving it with the science of mankind. But how they done so in the ancient days was they had no equipment, so they had to hypothesize. They had to study it and they had to look around and try to understand what was going on. So the Muslim clerics, when their followers would come to them and say, there's something wrong with my wife. There's something wrong with my wife. Acting very strangely, acting very unusual. And the Muslim cleric examined his wife and examined his surroundings, says, I know what's taking place here. There has been a jinn enter your wife. A jinn. What we this day call genie in the English cultures, because of the stories, and I believe the true story of Sinbad, where he had a genie come unto him, and that's what we called it, but the Muslim called it a jinn. Now, we've proven this day, these clerics, some of them, and the monks of China, and the priests of the Hebrew, of the Judean faith, and we have the priests in the more modern history in the 300s, the 400s, the 500s AC. We have them to where they were studying things and they come up and said there is a demon energy. The Greeks called them demons. What we this day call bacteria. They called principalities of the air. They had no microscopes. They had no telescopes to examine these spaces, the heavens above. But They had no microscopes, a very important piece of equipment, but we were heading towards that. The discoveries of mankind built into his very genome to defend himself, built into his very genome to live. Mankind is life. We are born of life. We want to exist. And mankind has it instilled in his very genome that they attack anything that attacks them. So mankind, for centuries now, it went on through many centuries, and finally came scientists and said, you know what, there's something attacking us from the air around us like our ancestors told us. So we need to develop some equipment to examine these things. They were reading the Bible, and they said the Bible, the Quran, the Hindu religions, all of these religions, reading it, and they've men to say, you know what, there's something in the air around us that we cannot see. It's spoken in all religions that there's something coming to us that we cannot see visually and affecting us. Now, how is science proving the Hebrew Bible, proving the Muslim Quran, proving history of the Greek? The Greeks were always, and there's some tampering with us here. There's demons tampering with us here. Mankind now, just now in the last 10 years, is coming to the reality that there is bacteria living within our body, in our intestines, in our blood, and they are making neurotoxins, neurochemicals, causing some people to be very distraught. They're just now realizing, which I've been telling them for many years now, that there are 8 microbic societies that bring aging, death, and all diseases upon mankind, as our ancestors proclaimed to us. But science is just now realizing that there are things we can't see that enter our body. We can't see it with the naked eye. We can see it under microscopes now, but it enters our body and it starts affecting us. It starts making us active and bringing us illness naturally. We've proven that for many centuries. But now they're proving the Bible and the Quran and the Hindus and the Buddhist monks, they're proving their sciences, their study, because everybody before doctors went to their priest. There's something wrong with my daughter. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with my son. There's something wrong with my father. They would study it and they would say, you know what, I want you to eat these leaves. There's something entered your father from the surroundings. I'm going to call it an evil spirit. The Native American Indian, we have found in their culture, and we've studied them, and we've found in their ancient culture, and even this day, that they're shaman. They tell them there's evil spirits entered this child. We need to sweat this out of him. We need him to eat these herbs. We need him to eat these leaves. We need him to take this. And now science, this day, many of the medications we have this day, they took from ancient religion, recommendations from the rabbis of the ancient times, from the monks of the Buddhists, the clerics of the Muslim, the Catholic priests of ancient times, the Christian priests. They would tell her, I want you to eat this herb. I've made you a little elixir here, and I want you to drink it. It's going to take care of that demon, and I want you to do these things. You're going to get rid of that demon in you. And now we've proven this day with science that there are bacteria, viruses, mycobacteria in our intestines that are making us act strange. Making many men has actually altered our society. Making one man a hippie, another man a priest that said, I was acting so strange, now I need to become a priest and pray intently because something's attacking me. Then there was this mighty science come forth from all of these things because men said, I'm going to study these things that these religions spoke about. We've proven it this day. The gamma acids made by certain lactobacillus bacteria, the certain neurochemicals made by Pseudomonas aeruginosa, a very sinister bacteria. That science has just now proven that they make neurotoxins in our body to make us eat what many religions, the Quran, the Buddhists, all these people, they called unclean foods. The Hindu, unclean foods. The Pseudomonas aeruginosa asking people to eat chocolate. Asking people to eat other things that they're just now discovering. Making neurotoxins to where a word literally comes to our mind. That's how our brain receives our signals in our brain. Neurochemicals. neurotransmitters, neurotoxins in the body that neurochemicals that our body makes, to where we know what to say, where we know how to speak our language, the mighty word of mankind that has brought forth now thousands of years documented history in many religions, in many cultures, the Greek, the Roman, and these many cultures documented everything they learned and done, documented it, and sent it to this day. Now science is proving the clerics of the Muslim religion when they said there's a jinn energy. So now science has got to look at these Muslim priests or clerics and say, I must apologize to you. You had the right idea centuries ago. You see, they brought the knowledge of centuries ago and they're still living it. But science has progressed beyond that. They've taken that hundreds of years ago. Men took that word from religion and the religious history of documented religious history and brought it into science. So, I'm going to find these things that I know my priest has been telling me about that tampers with mankind. I can find them. We can find them in the history of science, to where they're believing in the history of mankind through religion and the Greek history, just the basic history of mankind. They believed in it and they started searching for these things. Now we must apologize to the ancient ancestors of mankind, say we're sorry, we've laughed at you, we've been amused by your words, but it turns out your hypothesis was correct long ago. There was something we couldn't see. There was principalities of the air, unclean spirits that we could not see with the naked eye. And now we've proven you, and we must apologize to you. Your hypothesis, your theory was correct. We have now made your theory law. We in science have made your theory law. So, what am I discussing here? Let's discuss how mankind has things living in them that causes one to be a hippie, causes one to not want to go to school, causes one... These men of study, these men of great study, you have to give it to them because they come through many of the symptoms and the neurotoxins, poisons, to where bacteria wants us to remain tribal. Bacteria would love to evolve us like it's done other beings. Bacteria would love to live in us, evolve us to where we have a tail, fangs, a snout instead of a mouth, want us to have claws. They've tried to stop mankind because bacteria have basically known that mankind was coming for them with science. Sounds unusual, but we have bacteria in us that have that lived in the dinosaur, that lived in plants, all these different things, and they've learned. And they've learned mankind's utterance, and they've learned they can talk to mankind through neurotoxins. They send to mankind, and they can also hear mankind's utterance. They've learned it. That is a strange thing. But they have learned how to ask for chocolate. They've learned how to ask for us to kill our babies. They've learned to ask how to make us drink, to do drugs. They've learned how to ask us that. So when they hear us responding, and they hear a scientist saying, you know what, I'm going to find out what causes drug addicts. I'm going to find out what causes women to want to kill their babies. I want to find out what causes men to go to war. I'm going to find out what causes mankind not to live in peace. We've had the information for centuries now. I call them Humaniocins, caused by bacteria. Science has long known that bacteria make bacteriocins to destroy each other, to fight each other in battle. But what they didn't know is bacteria has been in our gut making humanocins. Bacteria, proteins, toxins, poisons that science, some of these toxins and poisons they've received as being a help to mankind. Helping to tone our muscles, they've said. Helping to make us think properly. Helping us to digest our food. Helping us to have a better metabolism. No, they are absolutely incorrect. These things, many of them vitamins, and some scientists, and they were in hospitals studying these things, they felt that they were making hormones to help us, helping our hormone system. No, they're finding ways to enter our body to bring us into old age. They come in as Trojan horses, as hypocrites, come in saying, I'm here to help you guys. Don't mind me, I am a vitamin. Don't pay no attention to me. I've
enhanced your vitamins that you ate, and I took your vitamins and enhanced them with a few little things I added to it just to help you guys. I'm E. coli. I know you've found me killing you guys in other means, but no, not me. I'm here to help you. No. These Humaniocins that they are developing, they have caused mankind for centuries trying to block us. They've confused us in the Muslim religion, in different history of mankind. You found doctors, there's something causing us not to think properly here, and it's neurotoxins, mycotoxins, different toxins that cause mankind to do weird things. Even the a man thinks he's a great holy thinker, a priest. You see him in the news. They want to follow the history of mankind, the history of religion, which taught them there were things in the air you couldn't see. And science is over here to the sidetrack, proving them correct, and science not even knowing. At the time, they were proving the religious scientists of the past, which were priests, rabbis, clerics, monks, from Buddhist monks to different monks of the mankind's history, proclaiming that there was something causing them to act strange, that they got in the air, and they gave them leaves, or as I say, herbs, to cause these things to not affect them. So what am I saying here? Humaniocins is caused by bacterial filth in our body that causes some people to be manic depressive, science just not proving this, giving mankind probiotics, other bacteria to fight the other bacteria so they won't be so distraught. Fighting bipolarism now, suddenly, with probiotics, where they're causing a certain bacteria to dominate the gut to where the other bacteria can't make enough toxins to affect this man and make him a bipolar person, a manic depressive person, a suicidal person. These Humaniocins cause suicide, where there's bacteria in their gut that's made a toxin that's telling them, made a neurotransmitter, a neurochemical to enter their blood, but then people are sitting there, I'm going to commit apoptosis. Science calls it when a bacteria kills itself, apoptosis. But what they don't understand when a person kills themselves, or when they themselves, here's the thought of suicide, they just had a bacteria in their stomachs, neurochemical, enter their brain and say, kill yourself, commit apoptosis. This is just now coming into view. They're proving the history of mankind. The Greeks have been proven dramatically. Their hypotheses from centuries ago are dramatic. I know one hypothesis that the Pythagoreans, that they spoke that science cannot find, but science has had it proven for years. I can point it out to them. Science has searched for it in physics, different things, trying to find it. I have found it in the history of mankind, in the discoveries of this day. So, what did I tell you? Humaniocins. Bacteria are not just making bacteriocins, and I will tell you this, some of these bacteriocins that they think are only affecting the bacteria of the gut is another smoke screen, because that also enters the blood, and when it comes through, it becomes a toxin to affect mankind's actions and thoughts. So, what is Rodney Berry, the smallest researcher? I call myself the smallest word researcher, because I'm looking into the study and research of great men, giants of the past. I'm standing on their shoulders. I'm looking over their shoulders saying, my God, you were a genius of your time. I have found what you had located. You just didn't have time to complete your analysis of your data and research. Great man, I have found it. My name is Rodney Paul Berry. I'm telling you, there are Humaniocins attacking us. Donate as much as you can at the Word Research fundraising link above this website, the very first beginnings of this website. Give as much as you can. We now end aging and death caused by the Humaniocins created in our gut by the evil bacteria, the sinister bacteria that try to pretend they are helping us while they are in the midst of causing us not to live centuries. We are to live centuries. My name is Rodney Paul Berry. Have a good day.